conference call or whatever, I'll use Google Voice and make the call on the sound system in my office and put everybody in headphones and a mic. So we didn't really think, what about phones? But I thought, well, we got to do something. What are we going to go to AT&T and get? No, that's silly.
No.
So our IT guy, Russell, who's really a brilliant guy and right now is in Barcelona.
Lucky.
Suggested that we'd use RingCentral. He'd used them before. They're a virtualized PBX. So you don't have a PBX, but it gives you all the functionality. Extra functionality.
Well, I've had RingCentral before. So.
Oh, you've used it before too?
Yes, I used it before because of Russell.
So you knew about that?
I did.
And I had never heard of them. And then just weird, like the next day,
it was.
Dan Granger from KFI, one of our affiliate stations, calls and says, hey, RingCentral wants to do ads on your show.
Right.
And I say, well, it's funny because actually I would like to do ads with RingCentral because we chose them as our phone system. And then they came up, we met with them and they said, well, can we provide, and this would make a better ad too, can we provide the phones for free? So they wired us. We got Polycom phones in every office. I have a nice, like you and I love the multi-lines.
I have a fabulous phone with a headset.
Colin, what do you have for a phone?
I have just a little handset.
Looks like a cell phone.
Yeah, we only got them handsets.
I might use it 3 or 4 times in my tenure.
Well, that's the problem.
Oh, you'll use
we
it
don't
more
use
than
phones.
that.
You know who
That's
uses
not
phones
true.
though, and will use phones? Our sales, if we have salespeople.
I'm on it all the time.
Producers use the phones because they give out a phone number and say, call me. So, but you're right. It's silly to have a phone system, really. Everybody uses their own phone.
It's kind of nice for me. I have a headset now.
I do like that.
And I'm on the phone all the time.
I already set up my Google Voice number to go to it, so now I don't have to be using my cell phone
I got to do
for
that.
the number.
How did you do that? You log into
if you log into the web interface, it tells you what your real
Do I have a password?
Oh, we don't give Leo passwords.
I think.
Did you give him one?
I don't have any information.
I'll get you the password.
And I also have to do the voice mail messages.
Hi, welcome to TWiT.
Welcome to TWiT. And we can, you know what's really cool?
And you have to talk just like that.
Right now it's a robotic voice.
I want to do that, but somebody needs to send me the information.
LLC.
Right, LLC. I have to do that. And then it also will put TWiT music on hold, and then every 20 seconds it says, we know your call is important to us. You've been lost in voicemail hell. Hang on.
You have to record that too.
I should record some silly ones.
Absolutely.
Anyway, so that's exciting. And we all have nice. Did we get a Polycom phone for the conference room?
Well, we did, but the problem is we did not wire the conference room for phone.
There's no internet in the conference room, or no phone in the conference room.
We have an extra floor box, right, like the floor box behind us, and we are adding it. Well, you know what? Now, we're going to also make it so that we can watch TV in there. So we're going to have football parties in there until we get our TV
We have
in
to
the
get
kitchen.
a letter from the landlord so that the DirecTV people can put an antenna.
No, we have to get a letter from the landlord for Comcast to put fiber in.
Oh, DirecTV's okay. It's Comcast.
DirecTV's already in.
We
told them, well, yes, it should be ready to go
time
tomorrow.
for football? Are you ready for some football?
Coming at 8 tomorrow morning.
Good. All right.
Yes. So I told them the landlord approved, but I really didn't ask them. So, yes, I'm sorry. The landlord completely approved that.
I see V Ran in our chat room is in Latin America. He says Netflix is coming on Monday. Can we use the TWiT code when we sign up?
Absolutely.
I don't think so.
Why not? You absolutely can use the TWiT code. Why couldn't you?
I don't know.
You can. As far as I know, you can.
You just go to netflix.com/TWiT.
Uh-huh.
We'll see what happens. Do it from netflix.com/TWiT. And see what happens. We don't know.
It doesn't work in Canada.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I don't think it would work internationally.
Why wouldn't it? That doesn't make any sense. I mean, 30% of our audience is international.
I agree.
So if it's not, okay. Hold on, I got it.
You know what?
I'm gonna
That
use
would
a
be
pen.
one.
Don't tell anybody.
Would that be a good one to talk to Mark about and say, hey,
You think?
we want credit for international? Usually, the reason that often doesn't happen, like with Audible,
it's only with very few of our advertisers.
Generally, they'll pay for international. But remember, these ad agencies are national. So they're not going to, they don't care whether you
But that's not
sign
true. Several of our advertisers count our global numbers. They don't just go by our national.
Right. So we need some way.
I'll take care of that.
The Netflix deal is a very unusual deal for us. We normally we only do deals that are called CPM deals, cost per thousand.
Right.
Which means they pay us for everybody who sees the ad. Mm-hmm. A lot of companies want to do cost per acquisition. That's kind of how it works on the net, cost per click, where they don't have to pay you unless somebody buys something. And we just don't, I don't believe in those. We've refused those all along. But it's the only way Netflix does advertising. And this is an example of, yes, I only hire left-handed. Are you left-handed?
I am.
Yes, all three of
All
us are
three of us are
left-handed.
left-handed.
I think we have 5 lefties here.
It's very bizarre. Liz is lefty, right?
She's
You're
a righty.
righty?
Sarah's left-handed, I believe.
Sarah's a lefty.
And I believe there's one more. I think we have 5 left-handed.
Isaiah's
people.
lefty?
I can't recall who else is, but I think it's 5.
I remember
5 out of
we had
17.
this discussion my first night at NAB.
This show
Was
has
it
made
5?
it.
I
This
think
show
it was
has
5
made
of
it.
us.
We have an audience member for this show.
Oh, Brent's a left-handed person. That's
Brent's
what I'm
a
probably
lefty.
thinking
All right.
of. I'm thinking of our
Tom's a
contractors,
lefty.
too.
Tom Merritt's a lefty.
Yes. Say Tom is
That's-
also left.
I think that
believe
that's
it's 6
telling.
of us. Yes.
What was I saying before that important
We're
conversation?
talking about Netflix and about CPM versus CPA deals,
So the only CPA deal we've ever made in our history is Netflix.
which shocks me
The-
to death.
Well, I really hate to do it.
Yes.
It was the only way we can get Netflix on. It was kind of an experiment. And to be honest, it's not been a very successful experiment
Excuse me?
because
It's been okay.
it's been okay.
But that's all we knew it would be. So I'm not really surprised.
Right.
No, you can't have one yet. You haven't said anything I liked yet.
You've
So-
been eating those for like the last 5 minutes.
I
X-nay
know.
on the
I let him steal a couple. I'm now stopping him.
So don't count. I mean, if you're an advertiser watching, don't ask us to do a CPA deal. We won't. But
No, I won't.
it's
do
not
another
super
one.
successful because lots of people see those Netflix ads and they get a lot of benefit from it. But we only get paid if somebody signs up.
And the problem is, I think
Most of you are already
99% of
members.
our audience is a member. So crack the whip.
Right. So that's cost per acquisition, Jazzblade, and that's
Yes.
not what we normally do. We usually just do cost per impression. And we charge them around, but somewhere between, usually our rack rate is $80 per 1,000 impressions.
They're asking about your Premier contract. It's actually with both now.
Premier contract, the radio contract has been renewed
But
for
it's
2
with both.
years. It's with
It's
both
with
what?
both our network and well, it's all with you, but our network has the right to.
We're now doing podcast
podcast
advertising, which is
advertising.
great.
Yes.
So we were able to make a little more money, and we're going to redo the website with help from Premier, and then we're going to also be able to put some ads on that. So
That's why we have Colin in the hot seat. We're going to talk to them next week with regards to starting the next website redesign because we haven't had enough.
right.
Which when I started watching TWiT way back, I remember you saying, we have a new tech guy website. It's almost done. And now I'm about to head
You know
up
what
that
I'm gonna
project.
do,
Well,
'cause
I'm
our-
so glad you said that, Colin, because you know what? You are going to head up that project.
Here, have a peanut.
No, you, get
So
one. You said the right thing.
the
You can have one too.
current
There you
website's
go.
broken beyond any way I can repair it. People can't log into it, and the reason is we moved servers and it screwed something up.
You see that?
And so I think what I'm going to do, if I can get some time, maybe I'll do it this weekend, is build a WordPress mock-up of what we want to do for ImageX to do with Drupal, just to give us an example and a working website. So there may be an intermediate change that I'll do real quickly.
Well, you are coming in on Monday with me to work on it, aren't you? Here's your,
I'll work on it
here's your
on Monday. I
amount.
already ate one.
You had to answer that one correctly.
So the radio show contract's been renewed officially through December 2013,
Correct.
with options to renew a couple of more years after that.
Yes.
And as long as you keep watching,
Right.
I'll keep doing
As
them.
long as everybody wants it.
Speaking of the website, the video window should be closer to the chat so you can see both at the same time.
Well,
We had a lot of discussion about that, actually, and we decided to leave it as is for now because we think most people who are doing one or the other are probably going to pop it out anyway.
You can pop out the video and
Correct.
watch it and,
And
then
the
scroll
IRC,
up.
where
Oh,
you-
you can pop
where
out both.
Yeah, you can pop either
Well, so
one out.
that's our recommendation. Pop them both out. That would
Yeah,
solve that.
Or
right?
pop one out and just move it.
Right. That would solve that.
Steven's cracking me up. Positive reinforcement with the M&Ms. It works.
Other questions?
Well, one thing that has been coming up, and I think we should start talking about it now because I'd like to get some feedback from the chat room,
Okay.
is the holiday specials and schedule. What we
yeah.
should do this time.
Last
Like
year
last
we did a
year, we
best
did a
of.
bunch. Oh, I love that, though.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking what we should do is we should do another holiday show. Those seem to be very successful, as well as some best ofs.
Yeah,
Don't
so
you
I
think?
would like to do it. In fact, we want to talk, Paul and Storm are asking us if we can advertise the next Joko cruise.
Aren't we going on it?
Well, they said we could go on it.
Really?
Yeah.
So can't we advertise it for a few tickets?
Well, they want to pay us money, I think, but I don't think they
Okay.
realize how much money we cost.
Well, free tickets and then money.
So maybe free tickets.
Okay, that sounds great.
But I said we'll do it for free. I said we'll plug you, of course, and so we'll have them on for the holiday show.
Right.
But what I said I wanted, we'll see what happens, is I want a concert. I want Paul and Storm and Joko to do a concert here in our studio.
That's something I've been wanting to talk with you about. I think we should have
love to
musical
do that.
talent here every week, like after
I agree.
TWiT,
And
until
where
we
would
get a
we put
variety
them?
show.
Could we put them in there, or we'll have to figure out where
Yeah.
we could do them.
We could
this
put 'em in the
table would
radio
be a little
corner.
tough to move because we've got.
No,
Is
you
there
know,
stuff
this is
going
where
up through the wires?
This is where TWiT's at. We'll have to consider another. You know what?
Well,
I've
if
got
you
a great
Clear
idea.
out the radio corner.
Pixel
Yeah.
Core.
Or Pixel
We'll use
Core,
their
they could
space.
do that.
We're talking about connecting to their space anyways.
Actually, we could do it from the Pixel Core. That's
That
a
would
great
be.
idea.
It's perfect.
That's a great idea.
We're
At
talking
the
about
controls,
trying
we
our
are
very
working on, and we're trying to figure out a site for that. We might
We
studio
have
for
some
that.
really great ideas.
We do. We can't talk about them yet.
Yes, it's very. You know what? We'll talk about them next week. I hope.
We're negotiating.
Knock on wood.
One of the things, well, I won't say anything, but we want to bring some people in to do that show with us.
Yes.
And we're
and
thinking
I think we can.
we're pretty
But you know
positive
me, I'm
on
pretty
that.
optimistic.
You're very optimistic, and she's working on it. So.
I'm working on it.
Yeah.
And as soon as we have any ideas on that, we'll.
And I think
share
a
it with
big
Scott.
live holiday show is this is such a great place for a party. Our grand opening party was such a hit here. I think we should do a holiday party here that is also a show.
I agree.
What do you think?
Absolutely, I love it. Aren't we going to do a Halloween show before then?
Yeah, we want to do a Halloween show.
Yeah.
Halloween's Monday, which means I'm not on the air, so I don't have to be here, but maybe my alter ego could come
I'm
in.
supposed to give you an M&M for not blowing that secret we were just talking about.
I know, I
love
should
that.
really get an M&M for that. You know how
You get
hard it is.
two M&Ms
You know
for
how
that.
hard it is.
No, you have to be here for the Halloween show. I actually have a magazine with costumes in it. I picked one out for you. It's a giant mustard costume. And I'll be ketchup.
I
No,
was
I'm
thinking I
kidding.
actually have many costumes
Should be a
and
giant
change
ham.
throughout the day. First be a ham, then be a mustard.
I'll be the mustard if you're the ham. You know, they go together.
I like that idea.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
We've been thinking about a music program.
Well,
It's hard to do a
variety
music
show,
program,
right?
but I want to do a variety show.
Yeah, we have that on the radar.
I'm really anxious, actually, to get NSFW maybe on a Saturday night. We're really looking about something like that. Because right now, Tuesday night, I think, is not a good night for MS. Would you like NSFW on a Saturday night? Would that be a good night for you NSFW fans?
If
just
they
queuing it
answer
up.
yes, you're getting it ready. Oh, Leo dancing on
there you go.
Dances with the Stars. Oh, that'd be hilarious. Yes, 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 yes.
That's
I
right,
think
JC
they'd
Calhoun.
like it. Oh, I only saw one no. That's a good sign.
That is a very good sign. Diamond Club people like Saturday
Schwood
night.
does perform on the weekends. I believe his Thursday and Friday nights are his most popular nights for performing.
We're talking
but,
about
you
it.
know,
We're figuring it
We'll
out.
figure it out.
Make Magazine Show, we are also talking with them. We are going to build a space in the back.
Yep, I'll have a
That
quote.
will be a maker space. We're working on that.
Yeah, we'll have quotes in next week, and then we can talk about some business points on that.
I've asked Martin Sargent to pitch me on a game show. He said, I want to do a game show, you know? And he would be great for that. So we're going to, I want to do a game show because I think we could get, like a traditional game show, but, you know, non-traditional with Martin. But I think we could get prizes from companies that would kind of help us out with sponsorship.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Yeah.
What kind of
So-
game show?
Well, I'm letting him pitch something. He's very creative. He invented TweetBeat, which is a really fun show. I think he'd be a great game show host, and he's very creative in terms of coming up with different challenges. So I think he'd be good at that.
I agree.
Like the old call for help quizzes, exactly. That's the template for that 4749.
D is never true.
You know, Varix, I think that the Spanish-speaking audience is a huge audience. There's two different languages I'd love to see TWiT in. One is Chinese, one is Spanish. But I don't think it's for us to do. I think that this is an opportunity for you, Varix, to do that. And that's what I would suggest. We did talk about doing a NASA space show and that we weren't able to get that off the ground. So there are
Right.
good people doing that. Space Vidcast is fantastic. We couldn't launch it.
So should we talk about the
The Byte
new...
show is, I think, off the table now.
Which show?
The Byte Cast.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what happened to
They
Bytecast,
just
but I've
kinda
been
flittered away.
I've been told by them that they've decided to table it for now. They finally said that to me after asking them for about 3 months as to what was going on.
We don't
with
know.
it.
We don't know what happened.
Something definitely happened. I'm not getting all the details on it. But it's, you know, it's okay. It gives us an opportunity to try something else.
PC Guy is saying he sees pixelation when we switch cameras. That's an artifact from.
Yeah, I'm gonna play with that. The
compression.
I'm going to try increasing the keyframe rate on the stream.
Yeah, what you have to understand is
alleviate
that all video compression looks great if nothing moves. But movement is, of course, what makes it work harder. So what it's doing with this static background, for instance, is it does it once. That becomes a keyframe. And only things that change then have to be compressed. That really improves the speed of compression. Now, of course, a camera switch is the ultimate change. And so that's, if you're going to see pixelation, that's where you will see it. We're really happy with the Ustream variable bitrate stream.
Yes.
We send them a 1.5 megabit stream. This is thanks to Colin.
And don't we have some exciting news about them?
Yes, and Mediafly has it on our Roku app.
It is a
now.
true
Yes.
HTTP live streaming codec,
Yes.
HLS. So the good news is if you have a Roku or you have a Mediafly application on a Popcorn Hour or Vizio or any number of things, if you have a TWiT app on your TV, the live streaming's back as of yesterday.
And what is up with Bitgravity? I've noticed that it hasn't been working for me either.
It's been a little flaky. I restarted it today, and
Okay.
it seems to be good again.
Okay.
I need to reboot the stream a little more regularly.
Okay.
Bitgravity is also HLS now, so that works
Okay,
on
great.
iOS devices, and that is all up on the wiki with the big long list of live streams and where to find them and what you can watch them on. And I think we have very good coverage now on just about every device you could possibly want to watch us live on.
I love being back on the Roku because I watch it all the time.
I think it's huge for us. It was just we were worried about the expense, but now thanks to Ustream, we can do that.
Right.
Great.
The ESET code for cybersecurity for the Mac is eset.com/Mac. And it's US only, eset.com.
Why is it US only?
/Mac. Because it's the Tech Guy show, and that's a US show,
Oh.
even though we do a podcast. Early morning show, what do you think of that, Lisa?
Well, I think I'd like to get our afternoon news show a little more stabilized, and then we'll start considering a morning and then an evening show as well.
We got work to do. We're trying very hard to. A number of our shows lose money, like most.
That's not very nice.
Well, it's true, unfortunately.
Well, yeah.
7
we're
shows
working
make
on
money.
it.
What you just showed me was 7 shows make money.
We need,
Right?
we need to talk a little bit
I mean, it's
more.
13
no
or
more, no more
14.
M&Ms. Let's talk a little bit more off the air.
We got work to do.
We have some work to do. We're working on it. I think we were a little. I think with being in the old studio, not having the new studio to use to leverage to our.
No, it's really simple. You guys have to
No.
watch more.
Absolutely. Well, that too.
And
That's
use
all.
those sponsor codes.
Use
I
those
agree with
sponsor
that.
codes. Watch more. Tell your friends to watch. Spread the word.
Absolutely. But I think we're just struggling a little bit with the daily show with advertising on it. So I think once we can stabilize that, we can actually look at a morning and an evening show. So.
Yeah. We need to. We are going to launch some new shows in studio. We're going to. The next show will
no.
be the At the Controls show. We want to launch that soon, followed by a live LAN party. That'll be Friday nights, and that's the next thing we're going to launch. That's in the next month.
2 months.
2 months. That's At the Controls. So
Like,
that's our
I'd say
launch.
6 to
That's
8
when you'll get
weeks.
it on iTunes. And we're working hard on that. How about Influxes for the HD? How's that going, Colin?
We had a few hurdles with bandwidth.
We're waiting on the Comcast bandwidth
Well,
to get in?
I'm going to play around with moving it to a separate machine
Okay.
because in further tests, I didn't hit the issue I ran into. So I need to get in touch with them and reactivate our test account. And
Okay.
I'll be playing with that this month, and hopefully within the next month or two, we should have.
So part of the issue on that is that we currently have a 35 megabit symmetric in and out stream. That sounds like a lot. It's not enough.
No.
And so for us to do it should be enough, but because we're doing a lot of uploading and stuff, we needed more bandwidth. So Comcast agreed to put fiber in here if we bought contracted it for 3 years, right?
Well, we're going to. It's going to take, I think, about 90 days to do all the construction for it because they do have to bring it to the
They have
building.
to bring in. There's no fiber.
So
in the area,
within 90 days, we should be ready to do that. But we also need to consider what we're going to do to offer to go with that because of the cost that
Right.
offsets that.
Yeah, So we're getting that, and that's 100 megabit symmetric in addition to the 35 megabit, but it's going to cost us a couple of $1,000.
Yeah, we're keeping both for a couple of reasons. Number one, we need a backup. We need some redundancy anyways. And we have that for the price of $20. So
Right.
we're going to just add to it.
Right. The truth is, and Knox Harrington was right, if you would just subscribe to every show, listen to the show, buy advertisers' products. Watching live at this point doesn't help us all that much. Do watch live because we like it. We think it's better. It's more interactive. But the money comes from downloads. So that's why having, for instance, a rerun schedule is not going to help us revenue-wise. It's only going to increase our live viewership, which helps us incrementally, but not substantially. Bricks are almost done, by the way.
Yeah, we're going to be done. I'm closing that out at the end of the month,
So
regardless, because it costs too much money to keep it up.
We're close to 2,000. We can
what
sell
was-
2,000. We're past 2,000? That's fantastic.
Well, no. We're not at 2,000. I think the total bricks, we're shy a couple hundred for 2,000.
Okay, so please go to bricks.twit.tv. That would be great.
Yeah, we're going to close that out at the end of this month. And I think we will be fully installed with the bricks by the end of the year.
Right.
So we're getting our next round of bricks. I mean, it takes a little time.
We still absolutely welcome the recurring donations. That's fantastic.
Absolutely.
At some point, we will tie your recurring donation to the live high def stream. We are going to do high def downloads. What's the status on that?
We think we've got our ideal encoding worked out. We're talking with Mediafly right now about kind of reworking how all our encodes do. Right now we have SD high and SD low, and it's really not optimal. And what we're going to try to do is we're going to do an HD stream, and then we're going to look to make the SD high look as good as it can get in SD, and then we're going to take the SD low and try to kind of optimize that to look good and have good size for mobile download.
Okay.
So kind of balance those three streams out. Whereas right now we have SD high and SD low.
It's not really tweaked.
Yeah, there's not a lot of difference between the two.
So we can improve that.
Right. So
Colin really, we're really glad to have Colin Weir. He came from Philadelphia just to work here, and he's basically become the...
We made him move out here.
We made him move here. He's the streaming video engineer. He does everything. We have three really great people in engineering, and besides John, Jammer Beast, Lenina, there's also Colin Weir and Burke McQuinn, and I guess really Alex is also kind of on.
Well, Alex is half.
He does
and
a lot.
half.
Alex
He's
does a
half
ton of
engineer.
stuff.
He does whatever we tell him to.
He
do,
edits,
right?
but he's also he runs. He's one of our best technical directors, and
he's actually working on the. He's mastering the TriCaster and the setups there. So.
We will not do special coverage of the Star Wars Saga Blu-ray launch. Sorry.
Oh, come on. I think Liz said she wanted to with Tom Merritt.
Oh, God.
We already have the whole promotion for it behind Tom with all the Star Wars toys.
That's really true. If we could get George Lucas to advertise, that would be great.
We're kidding.
What is the top grossing show? Easily TWiT.
TWiT.
Yeah, by far.
Well, I don't know about that. I don't know about that anymore.
Oh, it's the top grossing show.
It might be the Tech Guy.
Oh, that's interesting.
I could put money on that.
Tech Guy is about half the downloads.
Yeah,
it
but
might make more money.
It could possibly because it's 2 days a week.
Well,
it'll be kind of close.
I think TWiT's the winner easily.
I'd put some money on that for the end of next year.
NSFW is a money loser right now. That's one of the reasons we want to move it here and improve the show and make it kind of an all Saturday evening kind of big shoe.
really big shoe.
Really big shoe.
That would be great. What else do they have?
Show ratings are done by our advertising agency, Podtrack. There is no podcast ratings agency. There's no Nielsen numbers or anything else for a podcast. But the closest thing is something Podtrack does. And Podtrack's worked very hard with advertisers and agencies to make sure they're comfortable with those numbers. So those are the numbers we use. They're conservative. They are lower than I think they really ought to be. But we know that those people are at least listening, right? So.
Yeah. Well, should we? I had one more thing on my list to talk about.
Yeah.
And that was that you're going to do another speech.
I am. I'm going to be speaking
on November 8th.
What is it? Webmaster World?
At PubCon.
What PubCon?
At PubCon. It's for Webmaster.
In Las Vegas?
Yes.
What day?
It's on November 8th at 9 a.m.
So if you're going to PubCon, I will be talking about something.
Well,
I haven't written my speech yet.
You can talk about whatever you want. That's the beauty of it.
No, I'll be talking about something good.
I hope so.
Well, and unfortunately, we've lost 4198. He was kicked from the NSFW chat room, so it's dead to him.
Well,
That's sad.
that's just,
I like the live shows, and really the reason we do the live shows is because we think in the long run live is the future, because that's interactive, you can participate, it's companionship, it's easier to get than to figure out how to download a show, but it's inconvenient because you have to watch live, so we do offer those downloads.
Please, we want you to download
and we
the
don't
shows.
make money on live, we make money on downloads.
We do. Well, we make a little bit on live, but it's just not there yet with regards to where we need it to be to support our studio or anything for that matter. So we'll get it there.
We are kind of pushing live with the new website. Was one of our goals, was to try to put live a little more front and
we
center.
will be doing CES this year.
Yes, we are planning on
we
being
will be
at
doing
CES.
South by Southwest.
I'm already getting the emails.
We will be doing E3
Yes.
in June. Those three we know we're doing.
Yes. Hopefully we'll be back at NAB. That was a pretty.
We're waiting to hear from them, but that was
a
good.
pretty good event. So I'm working with them on that.
Viewers on that.
They were asking about Macworld. I hadn't asked you about that.
Probably not. But we'll see.
Maybe with a live view.
We didn't
Might be
do any
something
coverage
small
last
venue
year.
there.
It's a shrinking
And
show.
yes, I'm going to drag Leo to Regis and Kelly again, if he's still there.
Somebody asked about that?
Yeah.
Was that Regis in the chat room?
I don't know.
I should get there because
You
I
should
think
get there
Regis's
before he
last show
retires.
is soon, and I don't know if we're going to make it actually.
I think you should go before.
So schedule says we should emphasize our schedule more. That's what I'm saying, is that live is really not a very important part of, we don't really count live. The downloads are what get counted. That's 80 or 90% of the total views. And of course that means it's more than 90% of the total revenue. We do have a schedule, which is right on the front page for when the live shows go on the air. What you probably mean is there's no schedule for reruns, and we're working on that. We got a program called Tools on Air that we really hope to use. It will let us do that.
We would love to use it.
However, it's broken.
Where is it?
Yes, the problem is apparently everyone uses it in the style of just having a schedule and running, whereas
We're doing something a little
there's a little
different.
skip next button in there that's supposed to take you to the next program, which we would need to use a lot, especially when we go between live and reruns, since that's not very fluid for us. But the problem is that that button doesn't work all the time. And we're the first ones to catch that because no one
one's ever
really uses
used
the
it.
program that way.
We do keep that schedule as best we can.
I'd say we've done a really good
We're
job
getting
since
better.
we've moved. I mean, I really give us credit for, now that we have different sets, it's easier to set up, and we've been sticking true to our
TNT was
schedule.
pretty close to 2:30 most days this week.
I would
We're getting
say we're
better.
doing a great job, and it's taken a while, but
As we
it's
as we moved in, there were a lot of technical issues that have now
think?
slowly getting better and better. We're getting quicker to switch shows.
Yeah, but we moved in and we were up and running immediately. We didn't really, I mean, most TV production facilities take 2 to 3 months to test their facility before they move in. We were like testing 2 weeks before, and we were in immediately. So
The last month has been tested.
the schedule should have
yes.
every show on it. What is a non-Twitch show? I'm not sure what you mean. All the shows should be on the schedule.
all the shows are on the schedule.
Tomorrow's web is in the Twitch schedule. That's probably that PubCon speech. I would guess that's that PubCon speech. Is that October?
Tomorrow's web?
It's the one that's texting teams that
Yes,
Oh, when's
yes,
that?
yes.
it's going to be once a month on Saturdays.
Yeah, that's well, we should probably talk about
I
that.
didn't know about that. So we
Oh, we thought you knew about that.
well, I agreed to it. You might remember about a year ago, Abby and a bunch of 20-something entrepreneurs, some teen entrepreneurs, like Brian Wong and Daniel Brussilowski, did a great roundtable show about teens and entrepreneurship and so forth. They came back to us and asked if we would have a monthly show with young people talking about, I don't know, their point of view, and we agreed to that. So that's going to be Saturdays. What
Right.
time?
The
What
first
time?
the first one is actually going to be next Saturday. That's going to be the
At
first.
what time?
It's going to be, we were doing it at
Probably
4.
5?
At
4?
4.
Saturday
Ooh,
at 4.
It's
That
gonna
ain't happen.
it's probably gonna be 4:30.
I don't even
but
finish the Gizwiz by then. It'll have to be after this.
I
Why
would
don't you let them know 5?
5?
4:35.
I'll check on my schedule. I have it on the schedule. I'll
Yeah.
verify what
We'll
time
move
that's
that.
supposed to
We'll
be.
move that. Abby will not be part of that. She doesn't. Abby's not interested in tech.
She's actually going to be one of the guests on the first show.
She is?
She's going to be one of the guests on the first show.
Oh, that's great.
But she's not a regular
We don't
host.
She
tell you
doesn't want to be a
anything,
regular on
Yeah,
it
she's
because
not
she
getting-
doesn't want to do tech.
Right. Apparently, we're not telling you about anything. That's
I
happening
have.
around
This is
here.
the first I've heard of anything after saying, "Yeah, I think that's a good idea."
You know, it's the first I've heard of it too. I knew they were going to
Well,
do
who's
it. I didn't
doing
know
all
when.
this?
Who scheduled it? Probably Eileen.
I'm actually the producer of it.
Liz Lemon is producing it.
Yes. Yes.
So we're going to have to give Liz a hard time for not telling either one of us that it was coming up.
Eileen came to me. I thought it was all in there.
No,
Well, no, it was approved, but we didn't
keep
know.
me in the loop because I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, and let me know when you throw stuff
There
on the
is an
schedule.
all
I'm
Twitch
just
shows
curious.
feed. It's still right. That works.
Yes, it's if you go to the website and up at the top, there's 3 links that says calendar, RSS feeds, iTunes. The one that says RSS feed will subscribe you to everything that is posted to the website.
So as soon as any post goes up, you'll get a copy of it, and if it's a show, you'll get the show.
Right.
Eric's Talkback will not be a download yet. We're trying to do this one cheap. It adds considerable cost to have board ops and to make it into a podcast. And most shows don't get advertisers. That would not be one that would have an advertiser probably. So it would be a deficit cost. So what we're going to do is have Eric do that show, I think 3 times a week at night. And I think it's a great show. He does it stand up all by himself from the console there.
Oh, I don't think it's a bad show. I
And
have other
that's
reservations.
how it's going to be. Because until
What-
there's a chance to make money.
Do you want to know the cost per hour to run the studio?
I know.
Do you
What
wanna-
is it? Did you find out the final amount?
It's about $1,000.
So even just having him do a 2-hour show costs us $2,000.
Well, that would be if we put it out as a podcast.
Oh,
So
that's
it's-
if we put it out.
Yes, that's
Okay.
that's counting producers.
Yeah, because he's
but
basically
it's still,
instead
it's-
he's in lieu of a rerun.
Yeah, but
so there's
we-
no cost to him.
There
doing
is
that
a
show.
cost because we have continuity. We have to put it on the schedule. We have lights. We have rent. I mean, it does require some things to have him there. So it's cheaper
Well,
if we don't put it out as a podcast.
It costs
but-
a little bit more than a rerun because reruns we don't turn on the lights, but everything else is there.
There's some cost
So
to it.
we have to pay the
It's-
rent
it's
whether we have a
less.
rerun or not.
Yes,
And
but
I
it's
just,
less.
I just confirmed it also we do have it from 4 to 5. And the next one is for Tomorrow's Web is next Saturday. And then we already have the next one scheduled for October 22nd.
Well, see, if you had checked with me, then I would have told you that that's a crappy time.
Yeah, so I'll
So
talk
next
with
time,
Eileen about that.
Somebody needs to talk to me when we schedule a show.
Will do.
Video,
She's
currently,
new.
I don't know what the status of video is. We one of the things that slowed us way down in the first few weeks was every time we were trying to get somebody up, video broke, it didn't work.
Oh, it was-
so
it
I
was
just
not a
basically
really good
I kicked him to the
test.
curb and said, when you have it working, come back and we'll give you a shot. But we haven't heard back from them. We still have the
Well,
gear.
they've touched base with
it's in the
me, and
basement.
they've told me. I think I heard from them a couple weeks ago, and they're still trying to work on it. But I told them they have one shot to come back and be flawless on a show, and if they
Skype's
are,
been working fine for us,
they
but
can
I
be
would
for
like a
12
backup.
weeks. So we'll see.
Eric's show has a smaller audience than Ham Nation. But neither has advertisers. If Ham Nation doesn't get advertisers, they'll get canceled.
Well, I think now that you're on Ham Nation, I think I have a better.
We're hopeful of that.
I have
show,
a shot at selling
Right.
that.
No, I like Eric's show, but we'll have to look at the live numbers after we've done it for a little while, and we'll see. Ham Nation has about 10,000.
10,000, right.
I don't know what the live audience is for Eric's show, but it's not that much.
For Ham Nation, well, it's usually 10%. It just depends.
No,
I've
no,
act-
for Eric's show.
I don't know about Eric's show. But for Ham Nation, I noticed the live audience is a little higher. Could be that more people are watching it live.
Ham Nation can be commercial by law.
The
Glad
Ham
to
Nation
let you know
people
that.
were actually a huge help with the website because after we launched it, the day Ham Nation went up, was when I got all my Internet Explorer bug reports that afternoon.
Yes,
yeah,
they
they're
all
the
use
last
IE.
people still using IE.
I use it on occasion.
So, JP Clark, it's a very good question. Why a show? And this is really one of the reasons we were excited about Ham Nation is I thought it would, A, generate a large audience of hams, and B, more importantly, we would get advertising from ham gear manufacturers. Doesn't seem to work.
Well, not yet. I mean, it's only been out for 3 months. I mean, we need a little traction for a new show.
ICOM certainly knows about us. They donated or lent us some gear, but Yesu, Kenwood, no, and ICOM not buying ads.
Not yet.
So there you go.
We're working on them. It's only been out for a few months.
It's a little bit of a frustration for me that, unfortunately, it's not as it's not as easy as it seems. You know, you can do a show like a photography show, and it seems like, boy, that'd be easy to get camera manufacturers or people who sell cameras to advertise on, and it just doesn't work that way.
Well, and I don't really know if we would allow a camera manufacturer to be on that show. Would you? Isn't
probably
that kind
not.
of a conflict of interest?
Probably not, but we wouldn't mind having 47th Street Photo on the show. There's a lot of
correct.
related advertising.
I agree.
Hey, we've never been able to get Amazon to advertise. It seems as if
I love Amazon.
this stuff should be easier to sell, and it isn't. So we're doing the best we can.
Well, I think
we're
we've
very grateful for the
diversified our
advertisers we
advertisers.
have, but
Right.
it's a small group.
Well, it was 3 or 4 when I started, and now it's about 12, 13. Right. I'd like to grow to about 20 in the next year or two.
I guess we didn't get that Epson buy. I haven't heard anything about it.
Nah, we're still working on it. Mark said he was talking with them 2 weeks ago. Yeah. I meet with Mark once a week now.
Sales takes a long time in a lot of cases.
There's some education.
You don't like this clock?
I like the clock.
It's faulty only because of the way we hung it. It's binding, so we have to fix it. Actually, ICOM, you know what ICOM did do? They bought an ad on the front page of ARRL to promote Ham Nation, which in a way is a form of sponsorship, and we're very grateful for that.
Now, if they would just give us some money.
We don't take advertising from Apple because I think it would be a little too compromising.
Why not? No, I understand. But see, I think that's some of the dilemma.
I would not take advertising from Apple, but not that they're offering. Ford, we're waiting to hear back. We heard that
Ford is supposed to be back first week of October. It looks like the deal closed this last week. I'll have confirmation on Wednesday.
Yay!
Yes. So it took a while, but I think it's like a 50 ad buy.
So the reason I don't take advertising from anywhere is because I have this kind of, first of all, I'm not crazy about taking advertising at all. If we could do this without advertising, we would. Because I think it's, there's always a little kind of implication of a conflict of interest. So the way I kind of made that, okay in my mind is we take advertising from products we use. We're selective about the advertisers. We do a better job advertising stuff that we like and use. So that's who we kind of aim at. And I'm kind of, avoiding advertising, products we don't like. They won't get an advertisement, obviously, because that would hurt the value of our advertising across the board. We want you to understand that when we talk about something, it's because we already use it and like it. And then secondarily, we don't want too many advertisers because we don't want to get it cluttered. Not merely the number of ads, but the number of advertisers can clutter it. So we had talked early on with Mark, our ad agency at Podtrac, about, for instance, having a bunch of small ads on the TWiT Live page, like little buttons, and I rejected it in the long run because it would confuse. You know who our advertisers are. We want you to know who our advertisers are. We want to consider our advertisers as sponsorships in the kind of the old school idea of media sponsorship, brought to you by, and we want to keep it that way. We think that that's more value to the advertiser, and it muddies the waters less because you're very clear about who we like, so that if we talk about a product or service that's, whether it's an advertiser or not. So I think that makes it easier. It's just what I do. It's kind of how I think of it. We do really we would far prefer, in fact, it was always my goal to have advertisers that aren't tech products like Ford. I would love to have only advertisers that are like Ford so that there would be no conflict of interest at all. Unfortunately, that hasn't worked out too well.
That's not going to generate a lot of ROI for certain advertisers, so.
I really thought we'd get Domino's Pizza and Red Bull and blah, blah, blah.
Red Bull. I'm going after them.
Please.
Because I know how much you guys love it when I pull a Red Bull out.
We are trying to get product placement ads, but that's also been very difficult.
I just started working on that pretty heavily.
I'd love a Coke bottle. I'd have a bottle of Coke sitting in front of me.
But I hadn't really pushed that. But now with the new studio, I'd like to see if we can't do more of that.
Right. Fries, historically very difficult. Even on the radio show, we haven't been able to get fries. So.
Yeah. I would love to get Energizer, just some of the products I love.
The All Feeds is audio only. Can we do an All Feeds for video?
I can look into that.
We just need to create it. That's all. It's just the issue is that we don't create these feeds automatically. They're all created by hand.
Well, I think that's
the only automatic feed.
Yeah.
I'm talking to some gaming PCs about the gaming.
We think
Doghouse
Systems will sponsor that. We are hoping for product placement for our LAN party. We think that would be a natural.
Yes. I think so. I'd like product placement across the board.
Newegg would be great. A lot of times, all the things that you think of,
we've
tried, believe me.
Well, you know what? I think we've tried, but we haven't tried it since we've moved and since I've kind of stepped in and taken over on the advertising side, so I'm going to really push for that.
Yeah.
I don't see why we can't try it again. I think that it didn't work the first time 4 years ago when it was you upstairs in the little office.
A lot of the
You haven't really done it.
a lot of the
since.
advertisers also don't like how much we cost. They're not convinced that we produce. It's not an easy sell.
So are you a black belt?
In what?
Someone just on the chat room that they said that. Did you know Leo was a black belt? I haven't seen that.
I am not a black belt. I'm wearing a black belt. No, our audience is great, and we wouldn't succeed if it weren't for our TWiT audience.
We
That's
love our audience.
absolutely true.
It's really about what they want. That's
Boy,
why.
Eric has a fan club in here. Maybe I should do more with Eric. You can donate for a specific show. No, you can't donate for a specific show.
But if you
like a
donate-
show, donate.
Donate, right? Because it goes. Look around. It goes into the entire studio and everyone here.
Wow, people really love Eric. Well, we'll consider doing something more with him. I think he's gotten better. He's gotten a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
You see, what we're seeing here is something that makes it difficult for us to judge. Well, for instance, Ray Maxwell, which the chat room also loves,
Right.
and loved, but we got 4,000 downloads.
It wasn't even that much.
Yeah, so it's really, PBS knows this. Everybody, if they poll people, everybody says they watch PBS,
Right.
but nobody watches PBS. So there's a disconnect between what people say and what they do. Look, Eric is being groomed. There's no question about it. I think one of the reasons he's going to do 3 shows a week is because he's good, and we want to groom him. And so as Eric grows, there will be more and more Eric, absolutely. You can support us, Big Ginge, there's a big button that says give us money, but that actually isn't something I'm relying on. The donations don't really go very far. The Brick Drive did. We raised $200,000 with that.
We
Thank
did
you.
well with that. Yeah.
But
That
in
really
general, the best way to support us is to
I think I don't
support
like
our advertisers and download the shows. The more people who download the shows, the better. Unfortunately, what we're finding, and this actually isn't a surprise, we kind of expected this, is that a daily show doesn't do as well for advertisers. And our theory is that, and this is why the Daily Gizwiz got moved to the weekly Daily Gizwiz. Our theory is that people are subscribing to the show and getting all the episodes, but don't listen to all the episodes. So that means the ads are not making as many impressions. But they pay for all the downloads. They don't pay for listens because we can't measure listens.
But when we changed the weekly Daily Gizwiz from
Numbers
the Daily
went up.
Gizwiz, the numbers went from about 10,000 downloads an episode to about 16. So I think we're gaining traction.
Per week, that's less because we were getting 50,000 downloads. So what the real truth
but
is,
I couldn't sell it.
right?
So-
Because an advertiser would buy ads but not get the results.
Right. So I think the weekly show is
Patrick who?
improving.
Patrick Norton?
He is back.
He works
He's
for
on
Revision
Twitch.
3, yeah. And he does a regular show on the show for Twitch. The best, with the numbers we count, I want live to take off, but right now we make our money in downloads.
We'll work on that.
We're working on anamorphic webcams. It's kind of a mystery why some webcams are white and some aren't.
Skype, I think Skype is doing something new because
Like Dick was anamorphic for the first time
Dick
ever.
was anamorphic and then
For the first
not
time ever.
anamorphic.
Oh, did he go
So-
squeeze down?
Yeah, he went to 4x3.
That must have to do with bandwidth.
Yeah.
JJ Boo, Calacanis' advertising revenue is actually not something to emulate. Let's put it
Well,
that
and
way.
nobody really wants to work with him because he's not ethical.
Well, let's
he
just put
is,
it-
I don't want to really even put any energy that
Right.
direction.
Right.
Yes, the views on YouTube count.
I don't know what Skype was overused this week in New York City means. Scott
I
Johnson's
don't
great.
either.
Scott's shows on our network don't do as well as I would like.
Well, that's funny. Someone just asked if our shows are under 50,000 downloads, if we keep them. I would say yes.
Oh,
we
God,
do
yes.
have a lot of shows that are under 50,000 downloads.
If we killed every show that was under 50,
Well, a lot of our shows are over.
our
though.
ad agency does not really want to sell shows that have fewer than, say, 20,000. They said they'd like to make it 50
50 is
because it's hard for them to make money on that.
Well, it's hard for them to package it and sell it.
Right.
Green Tech today.
That's
well,
done.
it was just expensive.
It was just a one shot. We would love Veronica. If you know her, please ask her to join us. Skype does not buy advertising.
No, they don't need to.
Do not stop downloading. Even if you don't watch them, you should still download them.
Well, I think we'd love to do a show on startups, but I'm going to have a lead host because I kind of have a job.
Molly Wood, we offered Molly a job. She accepted it. Then CBS came back and said, no, we want you and we give you lots of money. So we lost out on Molly.
Well, that's okay. I think the big announcement in the last couple of weeks is that Buzz Out Loud has gone from a daily show to a weekly show.
I agree.
So people need to subscribe to TNT more.
Yeah. I think that'll help TNT quite a bit.
I think it will too. I love Triangulation. I have to tell you, I absolutely love that show.
There are a couple of shows. Triangulation is one, and this week, TWiT Photo is the other that I think should be doing much better than they're doing.
Well, Triangulation, we had the hiccup with regards to not having it come out weekly, so I had a little bit of a problem with that from a sales perspective. But I think we're weekly now, and I think that'll be fine.
I believe both those shows are so good that they will grow and gain audience. But you know. This whole podcast thing is very mysterious.
I've discovered that.
I don't think it's like TV where you can kind of put a show on the air and have some expectation it'll do well.
I can if I put you on it.
You can do a great show. Well, I'm on TWiT Photo. I mean, you can do a great show, and it's funny they just don't necessarily get traction.
Well, I think TWiT Photo is now, getting redesigned, and I think it's different. So I think with having Catherine on the show, I think give it a couple of months. I think it's like any of our shows. It always takes 3 or 4 months to build an audience.
Right.
So.
We turned off the audio on the drop cam because our staff complained. They wanted privacy.
We couldn't talk about Leo. Oh, I mean, no, it was just hard to not have any privacy. Well, Lisa Bettany's doing her own thing. That's what happened to Lisa Bettany.
We just didn't have she wasn't able to give us the commitment that we needed. So
yes,
we don't really compete with Revision 3. We don't. I mean, the thing is, this is a small industry, and we all need to do well. I don't think it's a zero-sum game, and in fact, I think that. Success of networks like Revision 3 is important to us because advertisers are watching. If a company like Revision 3 doesn't do well,
right,
it hurts us because then advertisers go, well, yeah, see, podcasts are dead. So we really want all these other shows to succeed. And most of the people at Revision 3 are old friends of mine, so I certainly don't wish them ill in any way. Now, that Dan Benjamin son of a bitch, you could just kill him. No, actually, again, Dan does too good a job. He scares me. Andy Anako's going to do a show for him. Merlin Mann's doing a show for him. He's carved out a niche, though, is a little bit different from what we're doing. It's all audio, for one thing. But no, I think I think 5x5 is a great network.
I think it's a good network. I'm keeping my eye on it.
Actually, truthfully, they scare the hell out of me.
They do a little bit. They're coming after our guys.
The developer.
They are. There are certain South Park hipster.
It's a pretty quality
group of
network. I mean, I'm not going to knock them. I actually pay attention.
Yeah. It's its own thing.
Right.
I'm trying to think if I should have Dvorak on more. TWiT's been declining. TWiT's lost about 10% of its audience over the last year, and I'm trying to figure out if that's because it's gotten too long, if it's because of the hosts we're using, what's going, or maybe it's just burnout. It could just be burnout.
I'm not really sure. I do miss John Dvorak.
I think we should have Dvorak back more
regularly.
I'm thinking maybe Dvorak every other week.
I like the energy with the two of you. You remind me of the Odd Couple a little bit.
Yeah.
But I love it. So
maybe we need. Problem is, John. Unfortunately, John, really is promoting his own thing, and he's got no agenda. He's got.
So why don't you promise to be on one of his shows via Skype once in a while? And no?
I think that...
I'm brainstorming out loud.
I think that John, unfortunately, kind of has his own thing, and that's just why it's hard to get him on.
We'll have to make him be on our thing more.
We pay him more than a lot of people. I don't know why he's...
We take care of John pretty well.
Let's invite him more. Okay. The problem is he's a lightning rod. Some people hate him, some people love him.
But that's what I love about him.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of like that. You either like me or you don't.
Right. Andy Anako's great. We love Andy. He did pitch us on doing another show, and we really weren't able to come up with another show for him, so he's now doing a show at 5x5.
Yeah, I think we need to get Andy on our network more. I just like Andy. There's a few people that draw me. He's one of them.
Yeah, and we're trying to prove that TWiT is more than me. Merlin, we just haven't been able to get him on.
Love
He just says
Merlin.
no. We were glad we could get him on TWiT. I thought that was fantastic. TWiT, what I'm trying to decide with TWiT is if I should have a regular. One of the things that's worked for Twig and MacBreak Weekly is having kind of a regular
Twig.
team. And I wonder if TWiT should have a regular team. I just feel like one of the advantages of TWiT is we can rotate through a lot of very good people.
Yeah, but if you had one regular, you could always have two others that are rotating in, and I think it would still be a unique show.
Possible.
I think it's something to consider.
I mean, I think everybody you see on TWiT is somebody you know for the most part. This week we're going to have Ben Parr from Mashable,
That's
Nick
excellent.
Bilton from the New York Times, and Brian Brushwood. So I think that's an excellent team.
Great team.
Oh, Malik's great, but most of these. One of the reasons we rotate so much is nobody can do it all the time, except me, and even John can't do it all the time. So
But every other week, I think would be.
we should have. I'll try to get John on more.
He was on regularly 2 to 3 times a month when I started.
Yeah, and he
So-
kind of
Well,
he got busy.
We could talk to him.
There is no advertised link on the site. Maybe we should have an advertised link. I'm not sure.
Yeah, we can
We
talk
could.
about that.
There's a small blurb in the About page that links to your
Maybe we should have an advertised link.
advertised page that you have on Leoville.
Well, we had a little request on that to not do that, which I thought was
Well, no, they asked us not to have a list of advertisers on the site.
right.
Did they say don't have a link that says I'd like to advertise? Here, who do I call?
Oh, yeah.
That's what they're talking about.
Yeah, okay.
The truth is
Sorry.
that would probably
I was
bring
mixing
in
that up.
more useless leads than we would want. We don't want to chase a lot of bad leads.
I do want that link. Can you add that, Colin?
I suppose.
And have it come to
for
me.
the content, if you go to leoville.com/advertise, that's the actual
Yeah,
content.
that's what we link to right now.
So that has everything.
So just move that
and it's
onto
not
a
just
quick
the
page.
podcast. It's how to advertise on the Tech Guy, how to advertise on.
Well, on TWiT, I want it to be how to advertise on TWiT, and I want people to.
Honey, you
come
make
to
money
me.
if they advertise on the Tech Guy too.
I
you
make
know.
money on both now.
Right. So
Yeah.
you shouldn't worry about it.
Well, I know, but I'd like where do those leads go? Do they come to me? No, they go
No,
to they go to Premiere.
the various advertising people.
Right, but
They
I
go to the
want-
people who sell the ads. You want them to go to you?
I want one to go to me so I can push stuff to Mark so we can sell it.
Well, they go to Mark.
Oh, they already go to Mark?
Yeah.
I want
Look
it
at-
copied.
look at
You
Leo-
know what? I want it copied to me just for a specific
It doesn't
reason.
work that way. Look at leoville.com/advertise. We're giving them phone numbers and email addresses. We can't. It's not a form to fill out.
Well, why can't we just have an advertise at twit.tv and it just go to Mark with a copy to me?
You'll be sorry.
No, I won't.
Okay. You can do it.
Is
I
that
think what
okay?
would happen. Yeah, sure. I think what would happen is
I don't want my phone number on there, though.
you're going to get a lot of useless leads because there's a lot of people say, "Yeah, I'd like to advertise on Twitter."
I get a lot
It
of
costs how much money?
Yeah, I get a few of those leads. I'm not going to respond to them, but it's something I check in with every week.
I certainly don't.
I have to.
We could make, instead of having it that copy, then make it a form.
Yeah, you can do that.
The problem is the form goes to you, and then you're going to forward it to the appropriate
No, I
person.
want it to go to Mark
Would you do
with
me
a copy
favor?
to me.
No. Go read leoville.com/advertise. You'll see why that doesn't work. It's like, if you want to advertise here, call this guy. If you want to advertise here, call this guy. If you want to advertise here,
Forgot
call
the
this guy.
Things on me. Okay.
Just look at it and you'll see.
I don't
mean, we
want a
can make a
phone call.
form.
Why can't it be call here or send an email to advertise at twit.tv?
Look at leoville.com/
But I don't want to look at
advertise.
Leoville. I want to look at Twit. Love how we argue.
But see, but
You just lost your last
If you
M&M.
go to leoville.com/advertise, you'll see that it says if you want to advertise on the radio show, call Dan Metter at the Premier Radio Networks.
Okay. Well, you can have him still call Mark. I just worry that Mark.
It's not going to be call Mark. If you want to advertise on Premier, don't call Mark. You call Dan.
But if you want to advertise on Twit,
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Is that advertise link? People don't say, "Oh, the tech guy. Oh, I better call Twit." We want them to call the right person.
right? But on Twit, I'd like them to call Mark. Okay, we're done. I got it.
Just look at
I got it.
Just look at
I got it.
leoville.com. You'll see what
And I
I'm saying.
will.
Can I take back some of those?
Can we get those big boxing gloves so we can just duke it out once in a while?
It's just that some of the advertisers are trying to advertise on the radio show. I mean, you could if you
agree.
want to get all those leads, you can.
Well, no, I just think on the twit.tv website, we should have something that
Who's
goes
Hermione Way?
our
I don't know
guys.
who that is.
Who?
Hermione Way.
I don't know.
If you think she's good, I'd love to get her on. This is my next podcast. You know, didn't we talk to those guys about doing? We kept trying to get them on. I don't know what happened. Harry Potter. I don't think you're ever going to see a Harry Potter podcast on Twitter.
Oh, I think Leo should do it.
Bring back the old website, says MacNut.
No, let's not.
How much did we spend on that website?
You really want to know?
Yeah.
About 60,000, 65,000 with all the additions with the little mobile
The old
apps
website we
and-
spent 20,000 on, and I thought that was a lot.
That was 5 years ago.
Yeah,
5 years
and
ago,
it
a
was
lot of
just
things
me.
were cheaper.
The Verge. What is The Verge? That sounds familiar. What podcast is that?
Yeah, that's what your bricks bought.
60 grand is not that much.
No, it's really not. I
Well,
hate
it's
to
cheap
say it.
for a
Well,
for
we
a
had them
website.
do more than just the website. We had them do a lot of our back end.
It's
and
a big Drupal backend. That's why.
Yeah.
Oh, The Verge is. This is my next. Okay.
One of the big
That's right, that's their new
things
site.
with
That's
the
right,
website
yeah.
was to kind of put structure in place for a phase 2 that we can start to bring some more elements that we're currently using third-party programs for, like Feeder and things
Right.
like that we can start to kind of turn the website into our entire workflow, which is going to kind of be something we're going to look to going forward, because right now we use about 9 different programs to post the feeds and put stuff out, and so we built a lot of stuff on the back that is going to kind of allow us to start leaning in that direction.
Well, yeah, and if we can, once we streamline our systems here, we'll be able to save time.
Sarah
and
would be
money.
great on TWiT, but what's happened is that we've kind of nominated Sarah to be a regular on TNT. So I want to make a distinction between TNT and TWiT.
Right.
So that's why Tom, Sarah, and Ayaz aren't on TWiT very often, because they all 3 have been, but they're not on very often because it's really the different show. And Sarah and Tom and Ayaz also don't work on the weekends, so it's like an extra work day for them.
Yeah, we only make
So that's why we keep them
make
separate.
Leo work on Saturday and Sunday.
Well,
Nobody
I
else
take Monday
does.
and Friday off. I'm not asking anybody to work for more than 5 days a week.
No, I know, but you're the only one who gets split days off.
Steve Gilmore, no, I don't think so.
Oh, yeah,
I
no.
like Steve, but I don't think so. Richard Hart's nice. He's not into tech anymore, particularly. He teaches television production in San Francisco. Yes, no, $65K, believe me, is cheap for a big site. It's
yeah.
it's not expensive.
Well, we had a lot of our own people doing a lot of the testing and everything, so it's not.
So
we could have
Beaker,
spent more.
We are looking at doing a review show, not an unboxing show, but a review show. And what we want to do is we need somebody to get products. Like every time a product comes out, get one sent here, and then have different members of the staff, including you, Colin, and everybody, reviewing these, and then in 5-minute reviews, and then package them together into a weekly review show. But use the little reviews throughout
That
the
would be
day.
great.
And I really want to do that.
Steve Martin is a guest on Triangulation.
Good. I'll ask him.
That's a great idea.
I'll ask him.
Yeah, when are we going to
He's got
start
a
the
new
review
movie. He's got a
thing?
new movie. His birding movie's coming out, so we might be able to
Right.
get him.
When are we going to start the review?
We'd like to do that.
So
Don't know.
let's assign to Liz to start getting
Send us
products
things.
for us. Where's your list of contacts that we can start hounding?
You want to get going on that?
Yeah,
All right.
absolutely.
Okay, good.
You know
And
me.
We could use that
I don't
radio
move
area
very
for that.
I don't move very slow.
It would be great for that transition where we're
Jeff
just
can
going. With
That's
a
what we
wide
need.
shot
That's
right
what I
now.
want. I want a lot of short things. In fact, I'd encourage anybody who wants to do that for us. We send them stuff and we like it.
See, I was thinking we should have something kind of like the old ZDTV Netcam network too,
Right.
that we can use as bumpers. where
I would
people
love to
send
do
in
that.
stuff
So,
like
guys,
that.
if you want to send us, well, let's formalize that. Put that on the website. So, what we did in the Netcam Network, we gave them scripts,
Right.
And we said, record this, and we'll use it, and we could start doing bumpers. I would like to do more of that. Jeff Kanata is going to be back on TWiT. Absolutely, I like Jeff. You know what? This Old Nerd is a great show. I'd like to do it. It's actually owned by Todd Cochran, so we'll do something similar. Well, the website's fixed now. Is there any bugs in it currently?
we are still trying to squish the disappearing CSS issue.
That's still happening.
It's still happening. Part of it's going to smooth out as we stop making changes,
Right.
and so that the
caching
caches
can
don't have
work.
to be
Right.
regenerated as much. And we're also looking into some other stuff to distribute those.
Are the subscriptions not working? Somebody said they're not working.
working as far as I know.
Okay.
They do open in a pop-up, so your pop-up.
Becky, we
blocker may be
really
blocking
want to
it.
hire.
love Becky.
We tried to get Becky. She also has a network gig. It's hard to steal people from networks. like television networks.
I'm going to work on that.
But we're working on her.
Yeah.
Becky is a very close friend, and we will get Becky eventually.
We love Becky, too.
No doubt that Becky will
Well,
eventually be part
I
of
think
the
it should be
network.
ABC and TWiT, but we'll work on that.
We're working on it. And we always ask Becky to be on Twitch. She just can't, do that many. She's got 2 little kids, remember. I don't think a comedy podcast is quite right for us, although the morning show that we're envisioning would be pretty funny. Jerry Pornell, we'll have him back soon. Roger Chang, yeah, I love Roger. Oh, Doctor.
How about a live TWiT from each of the 50 states? That would be fun. Leo looks really scared right now.
We could get an RV with a big TWiT
I've
button.
There
always
you
wanted-
go.
Sure. Did this is my what is it trending? Did that get dropped from CBS? Did Shira get fired? Really?
I think it did.
Holy cow! That's a shocker.
Why?
They gave it a month.
Well,
And
if
they
they
put
don't
a
get the
lot of
ratings,
money into
if
it.
they don't get the ratings, they cut it. That's
Well,
typical.
no, it's a web show though. It wasn't a TV show.
Well, they didn't get the
They
ratings.
already canceled that? Wow. That, by the way, perfect example of what I was saying, which is, you have Shira Lazar. You've got a show with big names. I mean, they had big names on it. It was highly produced. It looked great. And,
It didn't have the downloads.
oh, she got fired because of her tweet?
Oh.
Oh.
What?
No, that was something else. There was a
She
incident.
tweeted that Jobs...
No. They're speculating.
I don't think they're speculating.
Oh, I see.
So they tweeted, or did she tweet from her account?
The What's Trending tweeted that there were reports coming in of Steve Jobs' death yesterday.
Okay, well, that's not so good. Okay. And did that cancel the show or just fire Shira? Yeah, of course they retracted it. So then what happened? So
Well, you're a big
here's why we
gossip.
don't do a European Twitch show or a Latin American or a Chinese Twitch show. That's your job. I don't want to take the oxygen out of the room. Please, you should do it.
But
This
we're-
Week in Fun is long gone. Thank you very much. Yes.
And I actually just updated the wiki last week. It was still
Really?
kind of written in a way that implied it was returning.
No, it's not coming back ever.
This Week in
But
Coffee.
that doesn't mean Steve Martin. That doesn't mean that Martin Sargent isn't coming back. Munchcast probably not. No. The Tech Buzz, no. Marty, we've asked Marty to do a gaming show, and he's pitching it.
So,
I'd hire Shira.
to do what?
I don't know. The problem is she lives in L.A. People need to live here. That's
Right.
kind of what we need. Our pages fail on IE9.
Would you fix that, Colin?
They should work in IE9.
Okay, I think we're running out
I think we're done.
steam here.
Yes, I'm ready.
The gear clock is always off. Just don't look at the gear clock.
It's not there for accuracy.
And yes, you're right. IE9 fails in IE9. Oh, dear. Shelby Bonnie, I haven't talked to in ages. Yeah. He didn't like me that much. This
Oh,
week in the
there's one
Petaluma
M&M
City
left.
Council. That's good.
Here. It's your last one.
I get it after all?
I think so. We'll see. Oh, you ate it, so there you go.
How could they submit suggestions and opinions to TWiT?
They can go to twit.tv, and in the lower right is a contact button,
Really?
which tells you where to direct your query appropriately, depending
I love
upon
Colin.
its
He's always
purpose.
accurate.
That's excellent. And no, I don't think No Agenda has a role on TWiT, mostly because I don't think that Adam Curry would ever work for me. So
Why not?
it's a long, bitter story.
I have to hear that one.
I'll tell you off the air.
Ooh, I'd rather hear
Maxwell's
it
House
on
is
the
not
air.
coming back, and Ray just had prostate surgery, by the way. I think he's all right. I'll have to call him. But I do believe we'll use more Ray Maxwell. I think he's great. In fact, what's her name? Catherine Hall is going on vacation.
What's her name?
Getting so old.
What's her name? That one.
Catherine Hall is going on vacation, and we were thinking of that week doing a basic how-to in photography with Ray Maxwell and others.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah.
That would be a great substitute.
We love her.
host.
I love Ray. Ray's a great guy.
When is she going on vacation?
Will Wheaton and LeVar Burton and all the Star Trek people, I'm just bored. I don't really.
I'd rather have the Star Wars people on.
I don't
Can we
even
do
want
that,
I don't want
please?
them either.
Well, we'll have Tom do that.
Yeah, he can do all he wants.
You're so bad. Okay, I think we're
Hodgman will
done.
be on our Christmas show, I'm sure.
Yes, absolutely.
Jaeger
As-
is still in the freezer.
The Jaeger's still in the freezer.
And we need to get Leo an appropriate NFL shirt, which I will tomorrow. And knock on wood, we actually show up to play.
Jerry Ellsworth, we want her on more. Absolutely. In fact, we got to really work on a way to use Jerry. But
Well,
she'd probably
once
be on our
we
Maker show.
get our Maker show done, I think we could secure her like once a month. Or every
Kevin
other
Wendell
month.
hates my guts.
Oh, I think,
Kevin Wendell's the reason I don't work at CNET.
well, and the fact it's in, you wouldn't.
Of course, that was like 20 years ago. But
Right. But you'd have to commute again.
I like to hit the table, Razlak. I love Major League Football.
Don't even Major League Football.
That's what I called it. You didn't catch it when I called it that.
Did you call it Major League Football? Oh, that's hilarious.
I know. I thought that was a good line, but nobody caught it. Well, somebody caught it, obviously.
Well, that's funny. I keep staring at that shirt saying
We
it's
are never
wrong.
going to have lavalier mics. I have a personal bias against lavalier mics.
I'm totally getting some just
Adam
because you
Curry,
don't like
Jason
them.
Cavalcanis, and lavalier mics, they all belong in the same bag. More Veronica, I agree.
I agree more.
Jeff
Veronica.
Jarvis, we love. Callie, I like. We talked to Callie
got
a
her
little
own
bit,
thing,
but
though.
she's doing so well for herself. Yeah,
We should have Callie on
let's,
again, though.
Let's go back to the cottage and back to the old website. What do you say?
Yes.
No.
Who's up for that?
I'm not sitting in a room with 15 people again.
I like
More
having my own
edited
desk.
live coverage of special events.
I am going to make Colin sit outside my door once in a while. though,
We're
so I
not
can
big
throw
on
things at him.
editing because it's really expensive. Burt Monroy, we ran into him at a restaurant, and I said, Burt, I want you back. And so
That was fun,
he
I
said he'd love
did.
to.
Yeah.
He said he'd love to.
I love Baratunde.
Pelpina Tripp, she's working with Callie. I'm not going to take her from Callie. I don't think we can be honest with you, if we got Steve Martin, he probably wouldn't be in studio. It'll be a Skype.
Well, I still think that'd be a great Skype.
I'll work on it. Yeah, Cottage did make deodorant choice very important, and there were those who did not wear deodorant.
Or shower for 2 months.
Yeah. No names.
We're not going to say names, Colin. I mean,
Hey.
I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Hey.
If Colin didn't smell well, I
More
would shove
dogs
him
in the show,
shower.
I agree. More dogs.
Why? How about a cat?
No cats.
Just get the big fat Charlie
My dog
in here.
will be here soon, so he'll
Oh,
be
God.
making
Good. I want
appearances.
Django. I want Ozzy. And what's your dog's name?
Tukey.
Oh, God, Tukey.
And Tuki.
Only Colin would have a dog named Tukey.
No, Lisa named him before
I was going to
in
say.
the picture.
I
Now,
have
that's
a
okay.
feeling.
This is a good question. Do you guys want 10 to 15-minute shows? Would you be more interested in listening to 10-minute shows than you would be
I
like...
wouldn't say more interested, but would it intrigue you to
Would you
have
listen
5,
more?
10, 15-minute
Do you
shows?
want 10-minute shows?
No HD turtles.
You wouldn't want a 5 or 10-minute review? That's interesting.
How long is your ideal
Couple years.
length? What's the... well, if you want more interesting shows, you're going to have to go somewhere else because basically we're as interesting as we can get.
Yeah, 30 minutes. I see a
30
lot
minutes,
of
an hour.
30s. 30, 45, 1 hour.
I know
30.
we've gotten too long. I'm going to try to get them closer to an hour.
I try to turn Leo off. It doesn't work.
You do turn me off.
I totally turn you off. 30 minutes.
45
Lots
and
of 30s
30.
and
That's
45s.
interesting. My theory is always that everybody wants the show to be exactly as long as their commute, no shorter.
Well, but you could have 2 30-minute shows. That would be
No,
commute.
because what you don't want to do is you're driving in the car, the show runs out. You want the show to be as long as your commute, no shorter.
That would be like everybody else who's brushing their teeth, eating, and talking on the phone, listening to a podcast. People can multitask in cars now. It's just illegal.
Any shows with me or Tom Merritt should be less than 5 seconds. Why do you even watch this network? What are you doing here?
That's horrible.
No, it's fine.
I love
but
you guys
just,
on Triangulation.
I don't mind
together.
people
I think it's
saying that, but I
perfect.
just don't understand why you would even watch this network if you don't like me
Oh,
or Tom.
you know what?
It's like,
Have you looked
they're
at the
just
comments
unhappy
since
people.
we added them to the website?
what do they say?
They hate us.
The comments are all negative?
On Triangulation?
No, on the website. There's a balance, but
Is somebody moderating those?
Right now, I am.
Okay,
Well,
we should
I
help
think
you
we
out.
should moderate
We
them
should
a
help
little
you
bit
out.
more.
I
don't mind negative ones, but you'll see why I took comments off of Twitter originally.
Right. Well, I just think some people just like to complain and they gripe about everything, which is kind of sad
Well, I want to listen to complaints.
to a degree. I love the engineering IT show idea.
Russell.
No, I have interest in both kind of comments, but I think if you're going to make negative comments, you should also say what you like.
Yeah, I'm okay with negative comments as long as they're constructive.
We don't want bashing or ad hominem.
I agree.
Yeah, they can't just be, I hate it and I hate you and you suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ad hominem
You suck is just whining, I
mostly
agree.
what I've
The
wielded
show is
the
too
ban
long
hammer
is
on.
completely appropriate. If you say, I completely would be interested in something like the shows are too long.
Oh, yeah, I'm fine
I don't
with
want to
that.
hear, you suck, your show sucks, it should be more interesting.
I agree.
That is not useful.
Constructive criticism is always
Or just
welcome.
specific criticism. If
Right,
you say it's not
specific.
interesting, say, I don't want to hear so much about Apple, I want to
I
hear
agree.
more about Windows. We want to hear those. I want to hear those, absolutely.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Ion so far is pretty good. I kind of like it.
You know, it's an interesting
growing on you,
show.
isn't it?
It has been.
Tony
growing
and
on me.
Liz and Ayaz.
Especially when they were talking about me and checking.
You know, you should get rid of Tony or have Tony add a Z to his name. Then it'd be Liz, Ayaz, and Tony's.
I love that. Or call him Bones or
Bones.
something. Let's come up with a nickname for Tony. Bones. He's the little guy. I don't think any guy wants to be known as the little guy.
Felicia Day is absolutely not available to us.
You can tease us. I have thick skin. Just ask Leo.
Well, there are shows called Mac Break and All About Android that are 90% Apple and Android. I'm not sure what other shows you're talking about. TWiT is never that much anything.
No, it's not. They must not.
I
Watch
think
the
people.
show.
I think people. Any mention of Apple is 100% Apple.
I like both. I have lots of Apple products, and I have a
The
PC
Cron
for my
weather
main
girl.
computer.
She is hot, isn't she?
She's very hot.
Jen Cutter. Yeah, she's in Toronto. That's kind of a disadvantage.
I liked Waz on Triangulation. I don't think he's the right fit for TWiT. I like him for special
Yeah.
ama-
I agree with you.
announcements.
Yeah.
A refrigerator show. What are we going to talk about? An apple in the fridge?
How about some journalism? Yeah, that's what we need. Journalism.
Oh, yeah, we don't do anything on that.
Hey, about journalism. You mean reportage? Yeah, we just can't afford reporting. That's actually way out of our budget.
Well, on the audio version, we could have Tom Merritt thump his chest and say he's in the helicopter.
I'm flying high over San Francisco. All right, we're going to wrap
All right,
this up.
we need to
Thank
wrap
you,
this.
everybody. We will be back tomorrow, 11 a.m. for the Tech Guy. And TWiT tomorrow, again, is Ben Parr from Mashable, Brian Brushwood, and Nick Bilton from the New York Times. Perfect. That should be fine. We tried to get MG on. He was busy.
Oh, that's a bummer. That would have been a good time.
Yeah, I wanted to get MG
I
on.
think it would have been perfect. Oh, 5-second comment? Oh, about Tom Merritt and Leo Laporte. He couldn't stand him for 5 seconds. It was a joke.
Oh, too late. I believe you.
Yeah, you had Leo convinced Stephen. Oh, that's Stephen. Stephen. I didn't catch
Stephen
who
who?
said it.
3X?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Stephen.
Well, I know he doesn't think
There's
that.
no teasing.
He
Now he's never
practically
going to
lives
come out.
here. He's practically moved in
Well,
with us.
I've asked him to come out and visit us in person. So I think he should now
You
that he
have?
made those comments. Yeah.
Why?
Because he's just such a huge fan. He should
that's
come and
neat.
tour the studio.
Good.
You don't think so? I think all of our fans should come tour
I
the
think you should
studio.
all come and visit. We're very, aren't we nice when you come in? Excellent. We give you peanut chip M&Ms and we
Peanut what?
pretzel M&Ms.
I love to tease you.
There'll be dogs here.
We do need to wrap because I need to talk to you. Because I have to do this thing for this pitch on my
I
neck.
worked for CNET for 10 days. That's why I'm uneasy with the CNET founders. I was their third employee. It was Halsey Minor and Shelby and me. And then I did their first pilot with Dvorak and a few others, Gina Smith, John C. Dvorak, Fred Davis, Stuart Alsop. And then Kevin Wendell said, yeah, that was terrible. And that was the end of that.
They're saying, Colin, you have to say more. You can jump in anytime.
I've
but
been
good luck.
jumping in.
He's
I
been
know.
talking.
I think it's cute.
What is the Byte Show? Is that the Byte Club, you mean?
The Bite Show.
Or Byte Cast?
the Bite Cast.
I think we should have Byte Club on this network.
Bite Club would be kind of fun.
Fight Club.
More Mitnick.
Oh, that was hilarious. I really enjoyed that.
There should be a
interview.
link to a survey.
The survey.
Okay, the surveys-
The survey is you
I'm
email
out of
me
here.
your feedback.
You people drive me crazy.
The survey goes to Colin at twit.tv.
Oh, Leo already plugged that on This Week in Google, so.
Did I?
Yeah.
Colin at twit.tv?
Oh, that's
Did I really?
funny.
I'm so sorry.
Okay.
There, I fixed the clock.
Did you end it? Did you say thank you to everyone?
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you,
No, I said I'm
everyone. We
through.
do love you.
I said I'm done.
Leo's done, though.
You people.